All right.
All right. All right, good people. We need to talk 23 is back. And and joining me today, um, I have one half of unprofessional opinion, and then I have Man Cave Del P.
Uh,
So I have Shard and I have Del P. We may have another person jumping on with us. Hopefully, and we'll see. But what is going on? I got all this stuff popping up on my screen. Wrong time.
Yeah, put down the porn at some time, Ringo.
Yeah, you.
that's cold.
I'm working through it.
Yeah. Or upgrade the quality, man. It's 4K is where it's at.
That's boy you on the cool, but it's not 4K. It's just the HDMI wire. It's not showing because they're taking down the antennas and everything. So digital, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, just another way to of control. That's all that is.
I remember when 1080p first came out, people were hype. I'm like, y'all just realize what this is? It's the quality of your video. Oh man, people having flat screens that don't get the right equipment. Well, my TV's still fuzzy because you need it to convert over to digital so you can do what it. That's why it's called a flat screen. It's not a tube.
And the thing is, even with the 4K, a lot of people don't understand the 4K. You have the network has to stream in 4K, and not all networks stream in 4K. So you buy a 4K TV and you got, I don't know, some rinky-dink cable or something. You just wasted your money.
Yeah, but it's like people go to these stores and look at these TVs, man. They be having them on high everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
which is your television. I tell people that all the time. Hey, your light bulb in your TV has hours, which is why you start getting those dots on certain TVs. They run it out. Your lights, your TV run out of hours. But I mean, that's just another side of something else. It's just a fun fact for y'all.
Well, I'm gonna start off this episode with take a nice little sip, nice little drink. My wife completed her master's program and graduated yesterday. So this toast drink to her. Congratulations to the missus.
Cheers.
I'm gonna just say congratulations when I get married. I'm gonna slap my wife on the ass. Thank you. Yeah, I'm tired of these streets. Nah, what's up, Rito?
But you know what? I'll do the sponsor read in a minute. But this one I want to start. This episode here, I wanted to talk about the lies that that we were told or taught growing up. And I forgot, I was talking, it was either at work or talking to one of my sons, and it just made me think about all of the craziness that as young boys and now men, the shit that we were taught early, which I know, especially for me, led me to feel and be the way that I am. Meaning for me, and I want each of you to give me one thing that you were told when you were younger that's you're still having a rough time with. And for me, it's that boys don't cry, boys don't show emotion and all that type shit. And for me, that was always a really big thing for me, because I used to get I had an uncle, my aunt's husband, but I used to get a beating for crying and shit. And that's because I grew up around a lot of women. It was was it 6 women? My grandmother, aunt, my mother, and my aunt's daughters. So I grew up around a lot of women, but it was just like, oh, you can't do that. You can't show any emotion. So for the longest, I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't, the I love you and all that type shit. You wouldn't get a lot of that out of me. So even to this day, I'm a lot better with it now, but I'm still working through that. So for each of you, what is one thing that, a lie that was told to you when you were younger that you still kind of wrestle with today?
Shit, that one. Yo, man. I mean, I feel like I'm in tune with my emotions and everything now, but it caused me to detach emotionally. So where it honestly, it literally doesn't affect nothing in my life until I start dating.
Mhm.
And I can't, that connection, it's like you just keep missing. And you find yourself beating yourself up sometimes where it's like, damn, am I not worth it? And it's like you gotta kind of like retrain your brain to be like, hey, it's okay to tell this woman that you care about it without usually like, I'm not good with words. I'm gonna just show you. I don't. If anybody know me now, I'm gonna say what I gotta say, but I'm gonna stand like if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. So with me, it's just I think me tapping into being okay comfortably to express myself to every woman that I get into a relationship with and not giving them that wall. But even with the last one, but I think that one causes one of the biggest risks because to add on to that, with men not being able to express themselves, women don't know how to accept it now. So we running into a two-way street. I guess you could call it that, because you're not teaching us that, hey, we all can go down this same lane together. You teach men, right? Hey, you're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to do this. Hey, it's okay. You're supposed to cry. You can do this, that, and the third as a woman. So now when they get older, we consider it nagging.
Mhm.
But it's not. We don't know like that communication. It's a communication barrier that happens. So that's something I definitely do not do with my boys. Hey, if your feelings are hurt, you bother, you say something. You don't hold it in because it only ignites a ticking time bomb.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what happens. You restrain yourself and pushing your emotions out. It's only a matter of time before you become Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I've learned and my lived in a house with my grandmother and my aunt, my mom was there for quite often. And so I actually moved in with my dad. So um definitely two different households. And it taught me on one end of the spectrum to become a listener and to become, you know, women have feelings and they need their privacy and all these other things you have to deal with living with women. And they told me, you open up doors and you listen and all this. And then I got my dad and my dad was like, fuck that. Like, he's like, fuck that bitch. Hey, no, she better do what the fuck you tell her. Like, that's how my dad is, and so I was conflicted. I got to junior high school and um, I went in with the mentality that was given from my mother's family, the softer side, and noticed that, damn, my dad might be right because they ain't reacting to my sensitive side. They want me to push them around or something. I'm like, I'm not used to this, And then as I got older and started dating, I didn't know which one you wanted. What I mean? It was almost like I was giving you just um, this outer shell of myself. I wasn't a man that I really was, just open and just wanted to chill and have conversation. I had to be what was popular or what was being programmed in my head, which was, like Tupac was out. They wanted a thug, they wanted this guy that can kill everybody if he wanted to, and I'm like, that's not me. You know what I mean? So that was the biggest lie. I think, like you said, Dale, we need to actually tell the truth on both ends, because I notice with my dealing with my son and my nieces, my the girls are way more aggressive than boys from the ages of like 3 to
Yes.
10. They're way more aggressive. A
Mhm.
girl will punch a boy in the mouth fast. And I think the conversation need to be flipped. You know what I mean? Because most boys they're kind of chill. They want to have fun and they're aggressive, but with other boys, not usually with girls and boys. You know what I mean? Girls
But
are different.
that has to happen. I don't think we need to change the narrative completely with how women well, how little girls respond.
No.
We do in hand, like keep it at a. It's cool to be aggressive, but don't be aggressive to the point where somebody get it on your ass. You know, tone it down.
Yeah.
Give me a 5, not a 9, because every man doesn't know how to deal with sassiness.
Yeah.
And I learned that from having my daughter. She's 3, and y'all have seen her before. She's really sassy. She really bossy. She knows what she wants, and it's like I don't ever want to detour that version of her. Right. I want that chance because you don't. It's cool to be able to hold your own, but I say this all the time. You don't ever want to overlove yourself to the point that somebody can't come love you. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, you know, it's even then. If you want to add this in there, Ringo, on the other flip side for women is, you know, don't say nothing. Whatever happens in this house stays in this house. Mm-hmm. Was a big thing, but we never, as men, never realized it really didn't affect us.
No.
It didn't affect us. It didn't really apply. So when you would hear it, they were just telling the little girls like, "Oh, if your uncle come kiss you on the lips, it's okay." Or if the stepdad touches you, "Oh, it's okay." It's just him showing his way of love. Yeah. And these girls are uncomfortable, so they grow up in this environment where they fear men. Women fear us. Mm-hmm. They fear the shit out of us. You be the nicest guy in the world. In her mind, she's already like the end of life. It's only a matter of time they hit me.
Or you do something.
So a lot of times they will push that narrative because you're gonna do it anyway. Mm-hmm. You know, so I think that's another one we can talk about. The don't ask, don't tell. I think that was
Mel.
It's true.
I think she actually spoke to that and we talked about that a lot. How, like you said, little girls. They're like forced to give your uncle a hug. You know, I don't know this man. He just came home from jail. Like I'm 12 years old. That's my brother. You know, it's like that. So you gotta, you're right. The society and our society, we definitely gotta let them make that decision. You know what I mean? And it's weird you say that because I do that now. I have a niece. She's 1.5, and I don't be like, "Come here," you know. I don't want to make her afraid of me. She warm up to me whenever she wants to. You know what I mean? And it's true. I do that. So
that's a culture thing. If y'all really pay attention, our culture's the only one that does that. Mm-hmm. Go over there and get that person a hug. Yeah. You going over there? I don't, man. If my sons, I don't want to go somewhere. Cool. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to. And I think it enhanced because my daughter will let you know. It's like, give me a hug. No. Like I teach her, you're going to learn, tell them no.
Yeah.
And if she does it anyway, your dad will handle that real quick.
Yeah.
And that goes to family members and friends. Like we're not doing that around here. But I think what people don't understand is what happens in this house stays in this house was a slave mentality that we need to tap into, which I feel like come next month. I ain't gonna put it out now, but we're going to. That shit's we're gonna talk about that, man. Because a lot of these rules that we have in our households they're not ours.
They're not rules, yeah.
They're not ours. What happens in this house stays in this house comes from the slave house. You know why? Because if you was a field nigga, you never know what was going on in the house. Mm-hmm. And the house nigga never knew what was going on in the field. That's why they always had the mentality of who's better.
Right.
And then you throw in the light skin and dark skin. If you light skin, you come in the house. No, you light skin because this white man is fucking this black woman, and now you got this color complexion. Mm-hmm. And so it goes deep, man. Like the Ain't Your Mama thing. It's Ain't Your Mama. Yeah, he's a black man. He's taking care of white kids. That's why it's called Ain't Your Mama. But you got a woman breastfeeding a child. I know we off topic, but you got a black woman breastfeeding a white child. How that work? You just gonna force the breast milk out of there? But we'll get into that.
It's crazy. That's a whole deep conversation. We go down that hole. We'll be there for the rest of the episode. But I think what Rashard said earlier, like when it comes to, like you said, switching the roles. Do you all think that, between the like how the girls are so aggressive now and the boys are kind of chill and laid back, do you think that as fathers, do you think that we are responsible for that? Because we know we went through what we went through growing up, and now we're trying to keep our boys from dealing with or having to go through the shit that we went through. So do you think that it's us being, I don't even know what the right word is, but us going to the extreme with telling our sons, don't be so aggressive, this, and that. Because like I think Dale said, there is good aggressive and then there's bad aggressive.
Mhm.
But do you think that we're overcompensating by telling our sons, don't be aggressive? And now we're teaching, I don't have girls, but then, but people with daughters are telling their daughters, you don't have to stand up for that. You can stand up for yourself. So do you
Mhm.
think that we try to make the boys, and I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but make the boys softer or gentler, and then we making the girls trying to make them stand up for themselves? Do you think that we're overcompensating with the boys to make up for the shit that we went through?
Yeah, because we're not teaching right. In order to be a teacher, you got to learn to set up a what's the word? Damn, I wish your wife was in here because one of y'all wives in here it's a word that they use as teachers to get you to understand. So what I mean by that is we always been told don't cry, but you never told me why I can't.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me don't be. You say hey you can't be aggressive. Don't put your hands on women. Well, why is that? Because we don't have. I teach my boys courtship to be courteous to a woman. You open the door for a woman, no matter what kind of woman it is, whether you know or not. These are things that we miss. Nobody never explained to me why I gotta treat a woman nice or why I gotta do that. And
Mm-hmm.
everything for us as men is just do what I say. Not what you don't do what you see me do. Do what I say. This is the dumbest logic I ever fucking heard because I'm gonna remember what I fucking seen before I remember what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's just we gotta teach. You gotta be able to punish your child and then explain to your child why they were being punished. You can't just whoop a child 2 o'clock in the morning while they sleep, which has happened to me before, where it's like, even if I did do something early in that day, yo, you just coming here and whooping the shit out of me. I'm sitting here at because I don't understand what happened. I don't understand why.
That's dramatic too.
Right. So now imagine that trauma. You got all this built up aggression as a man. And now what happens with a lot of men, I don't haven't spoke on it yet, which I will when as man can come on, is the pain from the mother to the son causes you to treat the women the way you treat them until you find yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine how many women I done dogged out in my life unintentionally.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm saying that to say this, where you bring it in, hey, do you think we need to do this? I just think it needs to be explained better.
Yeah.
It's fine to say, hey, be an independent woman, but explain to your daughter what that
means?
is or what that means.
Tell them exact. And that's one of the
Because the concept's bad.
that's one of the main things right there. Just what you said right there. They need to tell, like, me and Mel always say, and I tell her, you need to tell your cousins that are younger than you. You know, they might be 4 or 5 years younger than you, but you need to let them know what you went through. You know, let them understand what it's like to be a married woman at a young age. Let them know, you know, not saying what they're doing is wrong. If they're single, but they need to look for a certain man, or if they want
No
to
got
spouse,
it.
they need to you stop trying to hold that, because I know, just like we doing right here, we having this conversation as men, as with my peers. Men will do this all day long. Women won't. It seems like it's like competition, or they just like, you know what, you go bump your fucking head, you go learn it, and then we'll talk about it when we're in our 50s and 60s. It's too late then, because now you teaching the next generation a lot of bad habits of how to treat and how to talk to your spouse or your mate. So I was like, you can fast track that. You guys can fast track that. And the other thing is, like, I wouldn't say we try to teach our boys to be soft. I think um emotion has nothing to do with what I'm basically explaining to them how to be a human being, and understand that
Mm-hmm.
this is a man, this is a woman, it's all about respect. You start there and then you work your way out. I don't want them to dial back their aggression. I want them to. I want it to be controlled.
Mhm.
My son now is when I want him to be aggressive, meaning like when he go play baseball, I'm like, all right, let's go. And he's looking at me like, what are you talking about? He doesn't know when to turn it on. But
Yeah.
then his little brother's in the backyard and they're chasing each other around. He picks up a basketball and throws in the back of his head. I'm like, see, that's the aggression I need on the field. I need you to take that. I need you to act like your little brother is on the field when you're pitching. Be that aggressive, but he doesn't know when to be. So I think I fell at because my dad was able to pull it out of me early.
Mhm.
That real aggression, that manly man vibe, early. And I don't think I'm trying not to give them all of that,
You
I
want them to
have.
learn some of it.
Yeah, we played Madden, and then I'll be like, no, stay on your side. You're not my son right now. You are whoever I'm playing.
Yeah, you gotta learn. You know what's funny? It's kind of like when you got to start going back to dividing the lessons. Like you said. All right, son. If like with me, I think I'm just different because I took a different route. I play sports.
Mhm.
And then I got into like technology heavy and I just took off that way. That's just how I work. I don't understand it. I'm athletic as hell. But the thing is, like you said, tapping into that aggression. But when you don't have correction, when you no longer have these examples on TV.
Wow. No more
I
TJ
can only
Hooker.
do so much.
I got you.
Society could the way we move and the way we work. That's why I don't watch TV ever again.
Don't get me started. See, Dale, you always get to a point where I'll be like, see. 70s TV back.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna shy away from nothing.
Man, and that's the thing. I think like for our, I know I'm the oldest one on here if I'm not mistaken, but I know like for our generation or for my generation in particular, in order for them to get that aggression out of us, it was always, you go over there, you go, you go take his fucking lunch, go take his fucking head off. It was that type of aggressive talk and all that. So now, like I said, we grew up hearing all of this. So that's what we know, what is it? You see the person over there, you go across the field when you're on the field, football, punch him in the mouth, all this type of shit. But now you can't tell your kids that, or we're trying not to teach them that because, like I said, we want them to be aggressive, but we want them to do it in a different way.
Control
Instead of telling them to go over there, punch them in the mouth, was it knock snot bubbles out of them, all that crazy shit that we used to hear.
Program.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Now we're trying to teach the kids, all right.
That was my movie.
Go do this, but go do it in a nice way. That's why I say I think to a certain degree because we've been lied to up until 13, 14, 15, whatever it was, until we started to see shit for ourselves, that we're, I feel like we're overcompensating, just trying to make sure that our kids either don't turn out, and I don't mean it in the way that it sounds, but they don't turn out, or they don't have to go through the same things that we went through. Because like I said, for me, like I said in the beginning, it shouldn't have taken until, my wife and I got married for me to really feel that I could cry in front of a woman. You know what I mean? Right. It's not saying that I run around all the time crying and shit, but I don't have a problem crying in front of her.
If you do, though, it don't make you soft.
Yeah. I hear you, but in my head, not taking that all in.
Right. I know exactly where you at.
And I'm trying, and that's the thing, because even up until now, and then every once in a while, I do find myself having to apologize to my kids, because I'll tell them, man, stop all that goddamn crying, and then it's just like, all right, let me let me apologize. Let me see how I could go about this another way, because to a certain degree, I do still feel like, boys shouldn't be crying a whole lot. That's just me. You know what I mean? But I get,
Cry for the right reason.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like you don't cry
Cry
when
us.
you playing Madden or you're playing 2K, you getting
Yeah.
your ass whooped. None of that.
Like and it's a bunch of LeBrons, man. Y'all boys great. And cry,
I
baby,
find
man.
I find myself doing that to my little guy, my 6-year-old, like to the point where when like his mom smacked him because he said something very out of pocket the other day. And I knew he wanted to cry, but he just like tucked it in. And I was like, dude, just let it out. Cause I don't want you to turn into a serial killer. Cause it's like I can see him internalizing everything that just happened. And he walked away and his chest was poked out. And I'm like, he is gonna snap.
Hey, storm, kid.
I was like, man, and his mom got big hands. And I was just like, I know it hurt. And I was like, you all right? He's like, mm-hmm. And he swallowed it and kept playing, but yeah, you're right. We gotta do that, man. Gotta let them.
Now
They
my
need
daughter
a
be.
release, but
I seen her get popped in the mouth. She looked at her mom, was like, cool, and went back to doing what she was doing. I was like, yo, what the hell?
Hey, man.
That's scary. Hey, man. I'm serious, man. She slapped her dead in the mouth, and my daughter ate it. It was like,
cool.
and just gave her a look. I was like, when she went upstairs, I told her real quick, I say, hey, I understand if she come live with me when she's 15. I'm not gonna be mad.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be mad. I understand because it's coming. She ate that at 3.
Oof.
Man.
You know, good. The bit older she gets, it's just gonna get worse. Like, I don't have to take this. I'm out.
Like, what?
Like, you out? Where the fuck you going?
So you don't how to take me to my daddy house, watch.
Like, I got options.
You gotta stop that shit too, man.
I think when kids know they can play each parent, they do it.
Oh,
I know my boys, my oldest son play us against each other all the time. Like he'll be like, he'll call his mom first for everything. And as soon as she say, well, did you call your dad? And he's like, fuck, I can hear him. he's like, oh. And which is crazy because I'm the one I'm super lenient. Like I want him to, go fishing and do all these things. I want him to go do it. It's not a big deal for me, but she's the one that's like want them next to her. They got to be breathing near her. And that's why I'm trying to tell them, like, man, if you want to go somewhere, just ask me. Don't be afraid. I don't want to be one of those parents where my kids don't want to ask or talk to me. You know what I mean? But it's turning out that way right now. I'm losing that battle.
But no, I think for my wife and I, like our youngest son, he's the one. He'll play us against each other. He did it yesterday. And I was so mad. It was something small, but I was so mad because I'm at work, and then he called me, and this is the thing. I'll put it out there. It's gonna give y'all a good laugh. But I had an icy. Remember the old school ices?
Yeah.
They're long eyes. So I had a blue one in the fridge, in the freezer. And then he was like, oh, he's like, can I have that? And I was like, nah. So that's mine. So then he kept calling me when I'm at work. He's like, so I can't have it? No. Next thing you know, he called me, probably 2-3 hours later. And I was like, you know what? You could have the icy. Oh, I ate that a couple of hours ago. I'm like, what? So then I'm asking my wife, like, what happened to my icy? Oh, I told him he could have it. He asked me for it. I said, and I was so mad because I already told him no. And then when I went to tell him he could have it,
it was already gone.
He went to ask his mother for it. I'm like, see?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's petty because it was
that'd be the shit I want, man. That's dope to me. I don't got nobody to play against but myself. I'm the double parent around this motherfucker. Yeah.
It's only a matter of time. When it do happen, it's gonna be like, man.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, dog. The day I get married, y'all gonna know I'm happy as shit. I'm overdoing this shit. Where you been? I'm overdoing it. I gotta give me my little 2-3 years of excitement, because I know it's gonna go away after a while. Just let me embrace that. So if y'all see me posting goofy shit that I normally don't, it's like, damn, I'm tripping. No, I'm just in a happy place for a moment because I gotta embrace this all at once, because it's gonna go away at some point, and it's gonna come in increments. So no problem.
It don't have to come in increments. You can keep it going. You know what I mean? It goes. It's a marathon, man, not a sprint.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. A lot of people like to live in that space of, you know what I mean? All right, we got, like you said, I got 6 months, 3 years, whatever it is, of being in the honeymoon phase or whatever. You could extend that shit out as long as you need to or want to. It's just, and it's not saying that it's not going to be, you know, bumps in the road and all that other shit, but that honeymoon phase could last a lot longer.
Yeah.
So,
hey man.
So let me ask you. So then, with, you know, with all of the lies and stuff that we were taught growing up, what's one that you've held on to even until now? What's one that you've held on to in a positive way?
Ooh.
Shit.
I like to call that the lie. I can that I held on to. I remember my mom always telling us every morning that we can be anything we want to be. I remember that, and that was, you can do whatever you want to do. But I was smart enough to know at 8 years old, I'm like, nah, I can't do everything. Like, I can't have a baby. Like, I can't, like stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? like no, I can't do everything. That's how I would think. Or I don't want to, train alligators because I don't like reptiles and shit like that. Like, and she was like, shut up, but I've held on that forever. Honestly, I was kid. Yeah, I was one of those kids, man. Like, you told me something, like my uncle.
Yeah, why kid, Ringo?
Yeah.
Huh?
He that why kid. That kid that he gonna ask why every goddamn time.
Yes, that's me.
That's my youngest.
And I was that kid. And I was exactly what I was about to say. My Uncle Fred took me to on a sailboat. He had like a 40-foot McGregor. He had just got it. He was excited about the shit. And I didn't know, it took a lot to sail a boat. Like, you got to change the boom around for direction. And he's doing all this shit by himself. And he's sweating. And I'm like, asking him all these questions, and then he finally was like, would you shut the fuck up? Write the shit. I'm trying to make sure we get back to the fucking, you know what I mean? Because I was just like asking him way too, I was asking him dumb shit like, you finished with the turkey? Because I'm gonna finish it, and he's trying to sell this boat finally, But yeah, I've held on to, I just still feel like I can do whatever I want to do within reason. So I've held on to that, right now, what I'm doing today, you told me this 2 years ago. I'm like, what? No. So, another thing I held on to is, that, like you said, that fairy tale, the honeymoon phase.
Mm-hmm.
I think the goal, because I didn't understand what marriage was. I just wanted to be married. I wanted to be in a relationship. But my mom should always tell me that, love her and smother her and all this other shit. Now, if I try that shit with my wife now today, she would choke me or stab me. I can't smother her. I don't want that shit. That was what you wanted, Mom. Don't.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's try to go get a hug. Not today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, man. I know, man. I'm trying to think. I don't want to say I don't have one, because then it's like a all Dale moment. You know what I mean? Like, I just had to figure out a lot of shit on my own. So I guess the best examples I can have is the examples that I was given in life. And I can give you that version of what stuck with me over you know, somebody telling me something. Uh, just a cool fun. Well, I don't know. It's not really a fun fact. I had an uncle, heavy drug dealer, but I was always with him. When I'm saying I'm always with him, we talking like I'm sitting there, he's cooking the shit, breaking it down, selling the shit. All this, I remember all this shit. This is from my life from 5 to 10. Because my mom worked that night, so I was always with him. So it's kind of like, you're gonna be here, just stay out of the way. So funny story in between this, and it happened when I wasn't there. His son vacuumed up the cocaine one time.
Oh. Oh.
Hot as shit. Got the sucked it up, right? Boom.
Oh.
But yeah, that was a whole nother animal. But no, he taught me how to cook. He taught me how to take care of a home, understand the values of what you were supposed to be as a man, and how you carry yourself will always be an everlasting moment in someone's mind. And I guess that he didn't never say that. He just showed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my mom would like wow the fuck out sometimes. He would just be so calm with his reactions all the time. And I never used to understand. I understand it now more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
That you just gotta love people for who they are, let them be who they are, and expect them to be that, and leave it at that. You know, so he taught me how to, you know, keep certain things. Everything doesn't need to be in the streets. Everything doesn't. Even, you know, I don't really know how this works when it comes to being married. That even everything that you do within that realm doesn't always need to be opened up and talked about either. It's be a man, and this is how you go. As long as you're acting accordingly, things will fall in place. Because he was in and out of jail, but it was crazy. Every time he got out of jail, it was like blessing after blessing after blessing. And I think now more than ever is because of his heart. He had a genuine heart,
mm-hmm.
Meaning no matter what. Like he could have just had a bad day or a bad sale, whatever. It never transitioned over. Never. He always stayed.
Kept
straight.
the main thing. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's where a lot of times people get that with me, where it's like, no, you wasn't always calm. I'm like, no, I was always calm. I just got a mouthpiece on me. Like, I'll light you up in a minute if I just feel like it. But I guess what I've seen with them, so that's one example of my uncle. Then I have another one who's been married since he's like 18, and all his kids are married. You know, all married in healthy relationships that work for them, which is why I guess you have that weird side of me that itches for it, because I feel like, yo, this is the one thing that I don't have. So I don't know. Like I say, it's hard for me to answer that because nobody never really told me shit. So I just, whatever I see, I imitate. And if it don't work for me, I'm like, well, okay, don't go that way.
Don't do that again. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that shit again, you know? And it happens. But he just, to me, he just taught me to be the man. He knew the man he wanted me to be. And I think he did what he did and showed me the shit that he showed me because he wanted this version of me in the end. So I guess that would be my way of answering it, but it wasn't words. He just showed me. So I don't. Yeah, I guess I'll rock with that one. I don't know.
It was a very good example.
I'll
tell you that.
Yeah, that damn sure was. But I would have to say to me that the one thing that I hate is the one thing that I think I still kind of hold on to, which is it's the showing emotion part. And I held on to it somewhat in a positive way, is because like anytime, you know, anybody, Shad, you've been married long enough. I've been married, 10 years this year. But for me, it's like I don't show emotion. Like if shit is going crazy, my wife would be like, why are you so calm? This and that, blah, 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 whatever the case is. And, and in my head, I'm just like, I might be losing it inside, but my outward appearance is just like, all right, we gonna get through this. And she's like, well, how can you stay so calm? And at times it comes off like I don't give a shit.
Hey, I
but
Man, we gotta talk about that.
yeah, and
Talk about that, Ringo. I
we gonna talk about it, but and that's how it comes off. And I tell my wife, and that's why I said that's one thing that I hold on to in a positive way is because you know I always tell my wife, I'm like, if we both sitting down here crying, losing our shit, how's shit gonna get done? How are we gonna take care of anything? And it's not that I don't care, but it's just that I don't show much emotion. I still don't. I show it a lot more, but I don't show a whole lot of it. Like I said, I'm not gonna, you know, my wife is freaking out. You know, I can look at her and go, it's gonna be all right. You know, and I know it pisses her off because she'll tell me from time to time, like, you're just so fucking calm, blah, blah, blah. This is, and I'm like, you know, that's me. I've always been this way. Like I said, you get enough ass whoopings growing up for showing too much emotion. You know what I mean? When you're older now, it's just like, it's hard to show a whole lot of emotion. So like I say, it's a gift and a curse because I got my ass whooped for showing emotion, but now as an adult, you know, and dealing with my kids and my wife and shit, it helps out a lot because like Shard said, I never wanted to get married. You know what I mean? I was gonna get married before my wife and that fell apart, thank God. But you know what I mean? But with my wife, it was just I didn't have
I'll give you an episode, that one off.
You give me
I
that?
able to give you that episode, get them rocks off. It didn't work. All right, let's talk about it. I'm definitely gonna give you.
But I'm glad that I did, you know, that I met my wife and, you know, and everything. But, you know, like I said, that gift and the curse of not showing emotion and showing emotion. And, you know, I'm always calm and it drives people crazy because they're like, I don't know what the fuck he thinking and all this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good. And I tell them, I said, that's my defense mechanism. I laugh at everything when I'm uncomfortable. Everything I laugh. You know, some people get pissed, even when, you know, my wife, it is never that big explosion argument. But if my wife and I argue and I feel myself getting to that point where I'm just like, I'm not going to yell. I'm just going to laugh. All right, we done. And then I'm going to go my way.
Yeah. That's what burned them up the most. I can honestly tell you that that's the best approach. I remember one of my first years when we first moved to Philly, to Jersey, and I was out with like her cousins. It was like 9-10 of us, right? And these two dudes was just like itching to get their ass whooped. And I was like I was just telling them like, y'all, you realize y'all put your hands on these motherfuckers. You don't know, you know, they drunk, but you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what they have, you know. And I was real calm about it. Just by me telling them, you know, like, look, man, y'all, I know where we at. Calm the whole crew down. Just by telling them that, like, look, we out here to have fun. Y'all can go over there and do what you want to. I ain't with that shit. Yeah. And then everybody kind of calmed down. And that's what I think by having that calm demeanor does to people. If if one person freaks out, the second one freaks out, third one now everybody's in a panic.
Yep.
But if one person just like, all right, look, you know, I got a flashlight. So you
gotta always find out who's gonna be the calm one.
Yeah.
You gotta know your decision before you make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's always, and that's just leadership in itself, man. You can't panic.
Yeah, no.
Can't panic.
Funny story.
Go ahead.
Home. This recently. Somehow they never changed our flight to get back. So my flight flew out Saturday, but it was supposed to fly Sunday morning. Everybody's losing their shit. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. What the fuck? I engaged for like 10 seconds. Because he was like, y'all irritate me. It's early in the morning, shut the fuck up type shit. I finally sit back on the couch and I pop a beer open. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. This is all I way leaving Florida. Sit there, put my feet up. I just start talking. All of a sudden, all that ruckus. Because it's one of them things where You gotta, and it's something. This is like again back to why I invented Man Cave. We gotta be better examples and better versions of ourselves, and we gotta be able to learn and rub off of each other to be a better version of you as a man.
Mhm.
Like people gotta understand that there's a version of you, and then there's a version of you being a man. So that version of being a man is who you are in the public eye of people that you don't know.
Mhm.
So one of the biggest things that I've heard since running into all of y'all is, man, I appreciate the way he carries himself.
True.
You know, that's probably one of the biggest things I've ever heard. And it's like, well, you always calm, you always collected. Because it's like, I see bullshit chaos for us on TV every day. Why the fuck do I want to be a part of that?
Yep. All day long.
I had somebody tell me that I wanted to start an argument so I could go about my day. I say, no, I just think you had a bad day. You needed somebody to get it off on. You needed a reaction. You couldn't get it from me. So you made it up in your fucking head.
Mhm.
Okay, that's fine. Keep making it up. I'm not going to join the mates. For what? Let me know when you get out of there. I'll be on the other end. I'm not going in there for what? Hey,
Yeah.
man, I feel like it's shit that, hey, fun for like, it's a book I would suggest. I don't know if y'all like big readers or not. There's a book called Assholes Come in First Place. I push this book all the time because it's one of them things like being an asshole really is not a negative thing.
No. No.
It's just, that word is used because instead of you saying, even though you're right, I don't want to admit you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find a way to call you wrong. I'm going to look for where you're wrong at. I'm happy to do that. I've been right all the way down. It was like, but on that one thing right there, when you said that you was wrong. Out of here, yo. I'm not going to ever stop being blunt, and I'm not going to ever stop being straightforward. Now, have I gotten better with my delivery? Absolutely. Absolutely. You don't have to cuss every person out.
No.
But there's a way to cuss somebody out without cussing them out.
Mm-hmm. It takes a while. It takes a while to find that, because I know for me, like I said, my wife is, my wife calls me King Asshole, because I'm like, I am who I am, and I know, and I don't change ever. So my wife and I were talking to our middle son and his friend this morning. He was just telling him, because my wife said my middle son is a spitting image of me, his attitude, everything. And I'm like, it's good to be the asshole sometimes, because it saves you from a lot of bullshit. People know not to, they know not to mess with you.
So a lot of
I say it keeps a lot of bullshit away from you, because they just like, nah, they know what my reaction is gonna be, or they know, what they could potentially get if they bring the bullshit to me. So a lot of shit is avoided by me being that king asshole, which I'm very happy with the title. I think I need to get a t-shirt made with king asshole on it or something.
Hey,
I fully embrace it.
Addy, I'll send it to you.
All right.
Nah, it works, man. It's one of those things where they already know where you're coming from without you even saying
nothing.
Yeah, I experienced that with, not so much with her, but with her family. Like I don't have to be, but I don't tolerate bullshit in itself. So if you don't, because she got a lot of people, people finesse. I don't know why, but all that finesse shit, it's like, fuck out of here. Like, yeah, you're not finessing shit. If you don't finesse them, try to finesse and figure out how to fucking buy a bank or something. Why the fuck you worried about? What you want me to give you a ride somewhere? Just ask me. I don't give a shit. Like what? But you people are stupid at the end of the day. So
people are stupid. Psychological, buddy. If I teach you something, put it like this. I'm gonna say this and you'll get it. As long as I allow one black motherfucker in the room, I don't have to worry about the rest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Apply that.
Mm.
And then you'll understand why people hesitate to ask. Because if they do ask, and then it's like, we get into it, don't act like I didn't take you to fucking da-da-da-da-da. Psychologically, keeping us from saying, I need black people to understand it's okay to help each other.
Yeah.
But you got to figure out how not to sink the boat because of your own shit. That's why I love that movie, Judas and the Messiah. I love that fucking movie. Because it literally it shows you why black people can't make it. This motherfucker went to jail for a crime that had nothing to do with Fred Hampton. I know it's off topic, Rico, but I have to.
No, you good. You good.
This motherfucker went petty thief. That's
petty
what they call
thief. Petty.
Hey, you don't want to go to jail? Go take this nigga down. This man ain't never done nothing to you, and you sitting here telling me you befriended somebody all these months, and every day you sit back and go to sleep peacefully? No, after a while, started getting to him.
Mm-hmm.
But then the thing that people have to understand, Fred Hampton was only 21. He was a fucking
young.
And you, I don't want to go to jail for what I did. So I'm gonna sink this boat and then sink yourself. If you go listen, just go all the way to the end. Listen to what the dude, go listen to what that cop told him at the table. This is what you get for your services, which was really nothing. Because they were going to kill him anyway. They were going to kill him anyway. He did an interview. Go look it up. Right after he did the interview, he killed himself.
Yeah.
Live with it.
That's the interview that played at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Right. But I want people to go see. That's the part that I don't. I tell people all the time, even if you get a snippet of something,
go watch.
Like say when we do this and Ringo put a snippet out, go listen to the full thing so you can understand how we got to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's how we keep staying separate black people. We don't want to ask for help. It happens in the podcast world.
Yeah.
It happens. Motherfuckers don't want to ask somebody to collab because, oh, I don't know. And then you fall into the thing of, I need people to understand something. Everybody not for your platform.
Nope.
And it's okay to say, you're not fit for my fucking platform. That's why you're not here. But I can help you along the way. There's so many platforms. I just did it, 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. I set up and shot it out.
Everybody.
Close the podcast. Mm-hmm. I don't listen to half y'all shit. Like, it's a couple of y'all I listen to. But it's a creative thing. It's not personal. It's like, I don't ever want to take what Ringo got. Mm-hmm. And then, oh yeah, he did an episode on that. I'm going to go do it. Why? That's his shit.
Yeah.
Now, I might take something out of the conversation we had, which I said like 3-4 times. That's 4 episodes I'd have created in the last hour just by conversation. But it has to be genuine. If I take an idea from you, you're going to be on the platform when I do it. And so you can never look at me and say, Malcolm stole my shit.
But that's the thing is that, like you said, they don't want to reach out and they don't want to ask for help, and they take it as a slight when you go, that's just not my platform. Because like you said, it's a lot of us. Half the stuff I don't listen to because it's just like, all right, that's not for me. And it's not me saying that your shit isn't good. It's just not my cup of tea. Like I mentioned before, I think one of the last episodes that we did or on Man Cave, when I said I didn't know what the hell I was doing with the podcast. I didn't really know what direction I was going in. So, once I figured it out, it's like, all right, cool. Now I can tell people that my platform is this. Because before somebody would ask me and I go, we get on there and we just, we talk about important shit. Like what? Just important shit. Now I can tell people, it's shit to help better, to better, this next generation. It's shit to help better men coming up and having conversations like this, because, there's so much shit that we don't talk about. You know what I mean? Whether it's, mental health, whatever the case is, there's so much shit that we don't talk about. We'll sit back and talk shit sitting on the couch or when we out in the yard, when we with our boys, but we don't talk about it. So for me, coming out here, like I'll tell my wife, oh, I'm gonna do this episode about this, and I'll tell her what I'm gonna talk about. She go, you don't ever, fear, like exposing yourself. I'm like, I don't see it as exposing myself. I'm like, I want people to know that they're getting the real me. I'm
You
not
got
I'm not putting on a show. I'm not acting like I'm something that I'm not. So if I can put out there, like I said plenty of times, when my wife and I first got together, I could honestly say I was probably fucking up for sure the first 3, 4, maybe even 5 years of our marriage. You know what I mean? But that's just me being honest. And
right.
saying I had to find my way because, like I said, I never wanted to get married,
Mhm.
at one point. But then it was just like, all right, fuck this. I gotta try it. I can't say I don't like it or I don't want to do it. And I haven't even attempted to make it work. You know what I mean? But it's just a whole lot of shit. Let me jump into the promotion stuff
That's
before I forget in this episode. And so anyway, so with summer coming up, everything opening back up, hopefully everybody's fully vaccinated, and there's not a promo for any vaccination or any shit like that. But this is for Imperial Rental. If you're planning an event this summer or the spring wedding, whatever time frame that you're looking at, Imperial Rental is the place to go. With a 360 photo booth and the magic mirror, they have everything that you need to take your party from an okay party to a great party. So with a professional, courteous staff, they'll make your parties goers experience a memorable one. So if you need to get in contact with them, you can reach them on IG at Imperial Rental New Jersey or at 973-851-3099 and use the code we need to talk for a 10% off promo. Use a 10% off code. Um, all right. So with that,
You'll get better.
I'm up and down with it. I told them the first time I did it with the guys from Canada, I'm reading it. The Flawed Dads podcast. I'm doing this shit and I'm trying to look at the damn screen and at the phone at the same time. So you see me doing this and I'm missing words. I was just like, this shit will get better as I go along. but no, is there with all of the lies that we told, and I'll give you an example. I this is the one thing that I struggle with is, like I said, men not showing emotion and all this other shit. The one thing that I know I struggle with from being told that is with me growing up with, my mother and my brother, my younger brother. And then I had two uncles, my mother's brothers, but they were off in college and my grandfather was, working and shit. But growing up, the one thing that I still struggle with to this day is telling my mother I love her. And it's not that I don't love her, and my wife always gets on me about it. My wife was like, well, you tell me you love me every day. I was like, from the time we got together and, we got serious and all this stuff, it was something that I practiced and, telling you I love you before you leave the house, before you go to bed and all this type of stuff. I said with my mother, it was never that way growing up. And it's not that I know my mother loved me just by the way she took care of me growing up and all this type of shit. But it was never a thing of I love you every day, every night, and all that type shit. So that's one thing that I know I struggle with. Do you all struggle
Hell
with
yes.
also?
I lost relationships because I don't say it.
Man.
No, and it's like women will get on you about that. Oh, that's an excuse. You just know that word. I need people to understand this about Del P, and then for the listeners, and if somebody that I talk to listens to this shit, cool, whatever. I'm gonna show you I love you, and then backdoor and tell you. But allow me to be that type of man, because what he said is my mom doesn't. Till this day, I could be like, "Hey, love you, mom." She's like, "All right, bye."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "What the fuck?" And she does weird shit. Like, and I don't think it's being older now. I don't think it's intentional But I'm trying to, like, I need women to listen to something when I say this. Just like y'all first love is y'all father, our first love is our mother. And if my mother doesn't give me certain things that, I psychologically feel like I should get, how the fuck can I give you that if I never received it? Mm-hmm. It's like playing football. I've been a receiver all my career. And now it's like, well, we ain't got no quarterback. Get in there and do this thing. I don't know how to read a defense. I don't know the cadence. I don't know how to tell the left tackle to shift to the left because it's a blitz. I don't know how to make sure I read and remember all this. You get what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't set up that way. And then it's like, we get told it's an excuse. No. And if you feel like it's an excuse, as my woman, teach me. Teach me. If you want, and I just had this fucking conversation. If you want something out of your goddamn partner that you see they struggle with, then teach them. Stop whipping out each other's ass because they don't get shit right. The only time you ever want to see WP react is lack of growth. Well, meaning, hey, we keep having the same goddamn issue, yo. But I'm not going to just bitch about it. I'm going to be like, hey, we've had this issue this many times. Okay, I need a solution. I need you to help me reel it in. Let's figure this shit out. But that love thing for men is hard because our sisters don't fight. My sisters don't fucking tell me. I got fucking 6 sisters. Don't none of them tell me they love me. I tell them I love them all the time. I go see them all the time. I check on them all the time. But they don't really say it unless I say it to them. And at that point, are you really, I need people to pay attention to something real quick. And I learned this in psychology, and I give it to Sean after this. Pay attention to how they say they love you. That I is very important. Mm-hmm. If someone says, I love you, yes, I genuinely love you. But some people will hit you with it real quick, love you. Bullshit. Man. Because it's I.
It's a piece.
Just like you say, I do at a funeral. I mean, a funeral shit. At a wedding, why not say I love you?
One and the same.
Because I love you. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? And you do it sometimes, like, love you, babe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just to get that nudge, like, I'm still here. But I always remember to put that I in front of that shit sometimes, dog. Mm-hmm. And watch this. I'm telling y'all, I don't know what y'all do in your household, but I'm just saying, just randomly try that shit out. Just walk up to your wife, look in her eyes and say, hey, I love you. You know that, right? That shit's gonna spark totally different from, well, he tell me you love me every day, right? But putting that I in front of it, it gives that love of that much more truth. That's just my opinion.
No.
So I give it on God now.
No, you were dead on with that as usual, man. The teaching part, we say that all the time. Young couples and relationships, they going through that. That's the dynamic in relationships, right? We don't know that we need the teacher, or maybe we're trying to teach and the motherfucker just ain't listening. Like, they ain't trying to learn. They just stubborn and they want to be in their own way. And it's like, okay, you're fighting me because I'm showing you something, and you're fighting me because I want you to do what I'm showing you. It's like, that's the tug of war of a relationship, right? So I think that's the conversation that need to be had. Like, if I'm gonna teach you how to treat me, I need you to actually open up and listen to me, right? And that's the conversation, and I need you to be open. Understand that what we do here, like you said earlier, what we do in this relationship behind these doors is between us. This is that compact part that's between us that only me and you are gonna have. Mm-hmm. And once you get that cohesive conversation and feeling going, you guys are unstoppable. So that, I know it's easier said than fucking done. The saying the love part, oddly enough, I'm like you, Dale. I'll show Mel all day long. I love her. But she be like, you never say it. Like, shit. Like,
and then your attitude is this: see it every day.
Yeah,
every day.
Have you looked in the exactly? I'm like, Did you just, I honestly, this actually happened when we every Sunday I made it a point because my mom had flew out and she stayed for a week, and like, my mom is like a time bomb. Like, and when it goes off, or she'll leave a bomb in the room and leave. She's one of those people. So she came home and I had this old I had a 87 or 88 Monte Carlo that I was planning on working on, and she was like, now you got your wife a car, she needs to park it in the garage. And I'm like, no, that's where my baby is. My car, that's when, well, you ain't worked on it in years, you need to sell it. And then it went from that to, you don't put gas in your wife's car on it. So me listening to my mom, the stuff that was going in, I'm like, this is my mom, she married, this, that, and the third. So guess what I did? So Sunday I would get up, I wash Mel's car, I put gas in it, eventually I sold the car. This all, I was just like, this is what I need to do, right? You would think Mel go, damn, thank you. No, that's not what she do. She gets up, she goes, where you been? Look outside. So Monday comes, and she gets home, and then now it's like she's apologetic. She's like telling me, I'm sorry. I see what you did. The car is, but it all stemmed because my mom dropped that bomb in the room and left and caused rifts in our relationship. And it took some time for me to start understanding, like, you know what, I need to, you gotta separate that from your relationship and just the love part. She, my mom was like, you don't show her any affection. And I was like, and which we had a conversation. My mom was like, thinking about it, I didn't do that to you. I didn't grab you and hug you and hey Shard and all that other stuff. So, but she did that with my sister. So my sister's like that. I'm not, and she said, nah, I understand, it's a trickle down effect. You're not that
Yeah.
so oddly enough, years in, I'm still learning how to be a lot more softer and I'll come here and let me hold your hand and all the corny shit, the combination t-shirts and all that shit.
You gotta do more a random ass slap, bro.
Oh, bro, that's my thing. That's like my go-to.
That's our thing. That's all of our things.
Exactly.
Hey, girl.
That's it. Boom.
Rigo just did that shit this morning. Look at him.
Not twice.
That's, hey, boom.
We do that, man.
But that's the thing. I think at some point we should do this again. But bring it. We got, I don't know, ladies lair, get somebody on here and have that same conversation, because I think we all do the same shit. Like for me, my wife already know. I'll go through a wall for her. She knows that. And she, the one compliment that she gives me, but then I see it fully, but I think it's sort of backhanded too. She go, you know what? I feel overprotected by you, not in a bad way, but she was like, I know you'll never let anything happen to me, but you still don't say it. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna be overprotective in my head. I'm like, I'm not gonna be overprotective of somebody that I don't love that hard. You know what I mean? And in my head, I guess as men, is just like, well, shit, if I'm willing to do this, you should know I love you.
They know.
I need to hear it. And it's just like,
they need a verbal validation.
Right.
I don't know why. I'm like,
you know how we always get told men are visual? Women use their ears. They good at ear hustling.
Fuck you, Dale. You're an asshole.
Hey, I'm not shitting on nowhere. Maybe those are bad examples, but no. No, but I'm serious, man. Women love.
No, you dead on, bro. You dead on.
That shit. And then let's. I want to tap just a little bit.
Wait, go ahead.
I'll wait till another episode. I'm not gonna do that one. Where women, their ears, man, they listen. They're very good listeners. The problem, honestly, that comes into it is And I push this a lot, man. Comprehension.
Mm.
We always talk about we want somebody that can communicate with me. No, I need somebody that comprehends me because I need you to understand my delivery. I need you to understand that if I'm saying it this way, it doesn't mean that way.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that happens and we'll throw that on communication. No, your partner didn't comprehend what the fuck you said because the way you said it or the way they heard it.
Yeah.
Women have selective hearing. I'm not bashing y'all, but you know, a man could go all day and say, man, I seen this nice dress on this woman that I felt like looked good on you. So you was just staring at that lady. We just gonna ignore the dress. The dress is the factor here, yo. It's dress, man. You know, it happens. It happens, man. And again, man, we just as visual as we are, man, and we're very verbal as men too. We gotta find a bridge to help women understand our emotions. And once that happens, life gets that much better. And the fun thing I wanted to tell you too on a cool shot is you said something about the honeymoon phase. Damn near everybody I deal with is married, right? Every one of y'all that I talk to, you have my personal number, like it's intentional. Because you always want greatness around greatness so you can only become better. So I tell people this all the time, you want your marriage to work, you gotta pay attention to fuck you around. Yeah. You emulating all of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, for you, I feel like you said, I admire, let me give y'all flowers now, because it doesn't happen a lot. I admire the fact you guys are not afraid to grow. No matter the age, no matter the situation, no matter the circumstances, you guys are always willing to be like, okay, I fucked up there. And then you apply it. But that kind of doesn't happen until you rub shoulders with how we having conversations now. This conversation is going to lead to another conversation. Then I'm pretty sure, and me and Ringo do it all the time. We'll be talking about something and we'll hit each other up. Yo, we got to talk about this. Because I was on this show and I talked about this and I want to add, like, we'll do that. We got to, and that's the purpose of Man Cave. I literally put this out there. Platform is for you guys to come on and be like, hey, Dale, let's record Thursday or Tuesday on Talk It Up and let's get some shit off our chest. That's what Man Cave's there for. That's our platform. That's our world. But I want to give you guys y'all flowers, and I admire the fact that neither one of y'all were afraid to say, hey, I made mistakes while being married. I was trying to figure it out. Ringo does it all the time, and I admire that about him. He never shies away from it, ever. It's like, hey, I didn't want to, but I figured it out. Now, I might not relate well to the wife, but to us.
She knows.
Trust me, she knows.
She knows.
Yeah. Trust me.
To us, it's a good feeling to know that, okay, there are other guys out here married that okay, I'm not alone. And I think that'll help a lot of marriages be successful if men are allowed to express their love and joy for their wives without feeling like you soft or you pussy whipped.
And that's the key. That's the key is like I said, not being afraid to express and acknowledge. Because I had somebody hit me up when I posted the thing about my wife getting her master's yesterday. It's some guy that I met through one of the people I interviewed a while ago. And he was like, that's the key, to acknowledge that, you know, that your queen is this. And it was a long post, but I'm like, I said, I'm never afraid to admit those type of things. I said, because it is what it is. I'm like, shit, if I don't give her praise and her accolades and all that type shit, trust and believe there's some other motherfucker out there that will.
Hey, Ringo, like I say all the time, I'm gonna make it hard for the next motherfucker.
You better believe it.
I was the only one like that.
No. She gonna be like, you know what? We gotta figure it out. You know what I mean? She can come too. She can.
Damn, what's the verse? Jay-Z said that shit. Man, she lady, yo, she gonna go back to Roman noodles? Like, come on, dog. It's not.
And again, it's the little shit. Like I said, I show my shit, and this is perfect, segue into the next question and the last question. I don't want to keep y'all too long, but like for example, I I asked a question, then I'll explain what I was just talking about. So do you all think, another lie that we were told growing up is that there's specific roles that a man and a woman plays in a relationship.
Ooh.
And I'll throw this out there. For me, the reason I bring that up is I'll give you the backstory. At one point, I was making six figures. We weren't married yet. We were dealing with each other, but we weren't married as yet. But my wife would tell you wholeheartedly, she never wanted for anything. Like I said, she was good, and we weren't together. But my thing to her was always, if you're struggling, my son is struggling. You know what I mean? So I was making six figures, so I didn't give a shit. So it's just like, oh, you need what? All right, cool. And I never asked what it was for. She go, oh, I need money, because I know what type of woman she was. I didn't have to worry about her. Oh, if I give her, this $500, she going on a trip and all this type shit. No, I know if she needed it, she needed it something to do with our son or something that that was gonna help her out. So now, you know, uh, got laid off from that job or the site closed or whatever. So now my wife is the breadwinner. And you got all these idiots that are running around here. And yes, I do call them idiots. You see these memes out here. A man should be, the game is one of the fucking idiots here. The man should
These are
take care
called
of
fuck.
every fucking bill in the house.
We
And,
call them fuck
yeah,
because
fuck boy shit.
compensating for
You
your
know what I
lack,
mean?
what you
Yeah.
not bringing to their relationship. Fuck them.
Exactly. Fuck all of them that think that way, men and women. But my thing is like I said, my wife is the breadwinner now. She got her master's, and I'm not ashamed to say I have some college, but I do not have a college degree. But where I make up for my shit is, like I said, there's never a time where my wife and I get off at the same time. If I can, while she in her master's program doing her shit, there's times where I come home, I'm gonna do the cooking. I'm gonna take care of the kids, all that type shit. You know what I mean? So it's knowing your roles. So how do you all feel about that fucking lie we were told that men's supposed to be this and women are supposed to be the homemakers and all that type shit?
You want
when I had to start feeding for myself, that's it. When I got to take care of me and my 11-year-old son that lives with me, well, I've been having him since he was 8 months, so it changed my life quick. Where that gender role shit don't apply. I don't even understand it. My thing is, come in, help me wherever I'm struggling, and meet me halfway on the other shit. There's no gender roles, man. There's no gender roles. You're my partner. If we in a partnership and I'm the analytics guy and you are the guy that always comes up with the game plan, but you can't execute it without the analytics, right? That's the only role you and your partner have. Who's good at this? If you're the good cooker, go cook. And if you don't want to cook all the time, teach me how to cook. Like any woman that ever deals with me, I cook my fucking ass off. It throws women, oh, you a man, you can cook? I mean, I gotta eat. I don't understand. Yeah, I gotta feed my child, The quickest thing in my house that's a meal is the dog food. That's the quickest meal in the house. But there's no such thing as no gender role. I just think it's weird. I don't even know where that shit came from. Now that you said, I'm gonna go do research because I want to know, like, fuck started it. I always want to know. I always want to know what shit starts too.
Society.
Right. Yeah, fuck them. Fuck society. It's coming too. We finna give y'all a big fuck you. Watch. To answer the question, I don't believe in gender roles. I believe in partnership, and let's make this house into a home.
Personal experience. So from, let's see, I was thrown a torch when me and Mel we moved to Denver, and the responsibility was that I made a promise to her grandparents and her aunt, and then my mom and my aunts pulled me to the side and said all the same thing. You need to do two things. You need to make an honest woman out of her. You better make sure she finished school. Those are two things. So we moved to Denver. I had two jobs paying out of pocket for her to go to school while she worked and went to school. She worked at night, went to school in the day. And we did that and then moved to Jersey. And she went to school for a little bit and stopped. And we found our house, all that shit, right? And it came to a point where she was like, I'm ready to go back. And I was like, okay. So all the little fun time that I had, a little spare time, shit went away because I had a 1.5-year-old son, and I had a 8-year-old to take care of. She was going to school, started going to campus, then she went online. All that cooking shit, all that, man, it fell on me. So I would work 8 hours, 10 hours, come home, go pick them up from my sister-in-law house. It was all on me. So all that gender specific bullshit about a man's supposed to do that, a woman's supposed to do this, a woman's supposed to wash clothes and keep the house clean, and the man's supposed to cut the grass and all that. I was like, I know how to do all that shit. I know how to cut grass. I know how to work on cars. I know how to cook. I can clean my own house. I got to a point, to be honest with you, I started thinking to myself, shit, I can find pussy somewhere. You know what I mean? I kind of don't need her at this point. You know what I mean? And so I had to tell myself it's a greater cause. Because you know what? I'm able to work and provide for the last 20 years. Thank you. You know what I mean? It's a blessing.
I got
What
a
if
question
there's a
for
day
y'all.
where I can't? What if there's a day that I can't? She got to hold it down. But guess what? I put those pieces in place. She did the groundwork, and now she got a degree. She can go, and she got, she worked finishing her master's. She got another semester. Thank God. And once it's over, boom. You know what? Hopefully we get to a point where money is not an object. You know what I mean? So gender specific roles is bullshit. And anybody tell you, find your niche and help each other out. It's a team. It's not I sit back, drink beer, and you look pretty and clean my house and all that. It's bullshit.
That shit.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
So I got a question for y'all. Because I don't know if every man does this. Every woman I ever dealt with, I always teach them how to work on a car, the basics on a vehicle, because the thing that I've learned, a lot of women weak points on the car because they don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell every woman is, hey, make sure you got a good jack, some jumper cables, and understand your fluids. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Basic things to keep your car up. Now, I've had some women kind of like do these numbers when I'm teaching, and I'm like, hey. But it's that to show that, hey, it's me telling you, even when I'm not there, I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you don't really need another man because I taught you how to take care of this shit if I'm not there. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. That's just like if your wife come in and was like, well, when you cook, use too much seasoning, let me show you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or let me show you different types of seasoning. Like one of the things I'm learning now, actually shout out to Red because he's been teaching me on the cool, is cooking fish. That's not my strong suit. Yeah. Pastas, soul food, greens, whatever fuck, I got you. Steaks, all this shit, I got you. That goddamn fish, hey man, it just, I don't know. I'd rather put that bitch back in the water because it just don't pan out for me. But I say that to say, man, always be willing to teach your partner, man. I dated a woman who loved to cut grass. But she told me that was that's her getaway. Like, I like doing it because it's my space. My family, why you out there? You got that woman cutting the grass. I say, see, you don't understand the fundamentals of what I got going on over here. Right. I don't play on your team. You don't play on mine. You never know my game plan. So, sorry to teach, man. You just got to be a good teacher.
Yes.
Nah,
And
but I will say, and just so I'm clear on what I'm saying, when I, for the people that's gonna hear this or see this later, my wife can cook. My thing is, I know I'm impatient, so I'm not one of them guys that's gonna come home and like, oh, you ain't cooked? What the fuck are we gonna eat? No, I'm gonna just walk my ass in the kitchen, do what the fuck I gotta do to make sure that we eat. And I don't
do that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I don't have, and I can cook. I'm not talking about, you know, just some was it Novell Vita, none of that type shit. I can cook. So if shit need to be done, like I said, I don't have a problem because some people, some guys will be like, your woman don't cook, you always cooking. I cook because I'm impatient. And I know if I need to eat, I'm not gonna wait until she finishes doing a paper or some shit. I'm gonna get in the kitchen and do what the hell I gotta do. But my wife, she cooks, but my thing is she go, well, I was supposed to cook tonight. I didn't feel like waiting. I had something on my mind and I wanted to cook. So the same way Dell said that woman getaway was cutting the grass. I never wanted to be a chef, but when I'm cooking, I could turn on some music and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
That's sort of my getaway. I could be in the kitchen doing this. I can cut grass. The car thing, I'm still learning the car thing. YouTube is my best friend when it comes to cars.
Oh, yeah, all day long.
I'm still learning that shit, but everything else around the house I can do. So like you said, it's a team thing because some people, and don't get me wrong, as a man, and like I said, I'm 100% honest on this shit. As a man, yes, it bothers me that, not because she makes more money than me, but it's just like, damn, I want to be on equal footing. But then I step back and I look at her and go, she has her master's, I have some college.
Listen, I tell man all the time, I have no problem with being Robert Ory all day long. if you want to be Mike or Magic, I have no issue being Robert Ory. I'll be Robert Ory 365, man, all day long.
And ain't no big shot.
And that's the thing.
Huh?
What'd you say, Dale?
I said Big Shot Rob is that guy, man.
That's right.
Coming in the clutch. That's all you need. And
I have no problem being that guy.
And I don't have a problem being there, but like I said, from time to time it does creep in my head, but it's just like, nah, fuck that. Ain't nobody gonna talk me off my square. Mm-hmm. We do what we do. I contribute. I do my part. Like I said, bill everything. Cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like I said, I know how to pull my weight. So that gender role shit, that should mean nothing. So for the game, the fuck boys and everybody else that got that putting that dumb shit out there, fuck y'all. But
that's because they don't know. They think they know, but they don't. They don't know.
I mean, I got to put it out there because I see that shit all over the place. And a man should pay all the bills and all that shit. Fuck you. You just because you can't cook and all this other shit. You're
but half the time they pay all the bills, even work on a car.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'll say this in closing because I don't want to make it, I think the episode already long as hell. But if I got to chop it up into two, that's what we're going to do. But I'll say this, again, take me another one. Cheers to my wife, for completing her master's, for dealing with King Asshole. All the women out there that, that's willing to work with their spouse as a team. And not as an individual. Fuck social media, the game, and all the rest of them that's putting that dumb narrative out there. You know what I mean? We appreciate you. And I'm talking to my wife here. I love you. Not everybody else. But cheers to you all. And
salute.
A little bit left.
We need to talk 23 signing off. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me.
Always.